What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel, and it's time to give you my 2023 college football top 25 rankings heading into week 2 of the 2023 college football season. We're now officially heading into week 2 of the 2023 college football season. We've now officially completed week 1. Yesterday we had one more game from last night. That was Clemson and Duke. I'll talk about that game and give you my thoughts about that game in just a second, but I made a lot of changes here to my top 25 from week number 1. Week 1 was a pretty quiet weekend. We didn't have a lot of upsets over the weekend, plus not a lot of big games, but heading into week 2, we got a lot of big-time games coming up for the weekend, and I'll give you pretty much my thoughts of how these teams performed over the weekend in week number 1, and then talk about their upcoming game this upcoming weekend. So let's get right into it here with my week 2 top 25 poll heading into the second weekend of the college football season for the 2023 college football season. We'll start from the bottom and work my way up to the top, and we'll start from the bottom here from 21 through 25. Got Colorado and Duke here, my new top 25 members here in my week 2 top 25 poll. Colorado and Duke coming off 2 huge upsets over the weekend. Colorado upset at TCU on the road. Who saw this coming? I mean, who saw Colorado being ranked here in the top 25 for me this upcoming season? And, you know, in the offseason, I didn't really call Colorado a top 25 team, but I think after that win against TCU, can definitely really call them a top 25 team. I don't think they are a dark horse contender yet in the Pac-12, but they're right there. But, you know, I have to see them play a Pac-12 team in order for me to call them a dark horse contender in the Pac-12. But other than that, they are ranked here in the top 25, which is, I think, a big win for them. Duke pulling off that huge upset against Clemson last night. Duke just overall proved to be the better defense in that game. Clemson going into that game was the more, talented team, but Duke was the more experienced of a roster in that game. And what did I say about my upset alert video this past week? That should have been on the upset alert, everything. That should have been like a single-digit game. Clemson, I think, would have still probably been favored, but only about maybe by a touchdown in that game. But instead, Clemson was favored in that game by 13, and I think now Duke just really proved us wrong. And obviously, I did pick Clemson to win that game, but Duke definitely proved me wrong with that win. So Duke starts out 1-0. This is going to be a really good team this year, and they really performed well on the offensive side of the football. It was kind of a defensive battle in the first half, but the second half, it was pretty much all the Blue Devils. In that second half, they were forcing turnovers on that Clemson offense. So Duke here, what a start for them, starting out 1-0, and they're here in my top 25 here in the second week. Iowa at number 23, they're coming off a 10-point win against Utah State. The offense didn't really look great, to be honest. I mean, the offense still has some work to do, but defensively, they're really strong on that side of the football. I mean, Iowa's going to be probably one of the top defenses in the Big Ten this year. Maybe I'm not really thinking they're going to be the top Big Ten defense this year, but there's really a possibility that they could be. But, Iowa here, they still got some question marks on the offensive side of the football. Cade McNamara kind of looked okay in his debut, but we'll see if he'll get better down the stretch. And Iowa will play against their rivals this weekend, Iowa State. That's a potential upset alert type game there. I think Iowa is going to be the favorite going into that game. I think Iowa State has a really good shot to pull off an upset. And plus, it's a revenge game for Iowa this weekend. So Iowa here at number 23. Ole Miss at number 22 took care of business against Mercer. They scored 73 points in their game. The offense was really explosive like I thought it would be, so not much to talk about Ole Miss. Wisconsin at number 21. They were in a tough battle there with Buffalo in the first half, but second half, the running game kind of got going for the Badgers, and I think that was the strength of this Wisconsin team in Luke Fickell's debut. So Wisconsin will play Washington State this weekend. That's a big-time game. It's also a revenge game for Wisconsin. Plus, they have to go on the road and play that team. And the Pac-12 just had a really good weekend. So we're kind of expecting Wisconsin, to be more of the talented team, but Washington State's definitely right up there with them. So Wisconsin here at number 21, and those are my rankings from 21 through 25. Let's now go 16 through 20 here. We got North Carolina at number 20. Oklahoma at number 19, Tulane at 18, Kansas State at 17, and then Oregon State here at number 16. Meant to put a 1-0 there on their 0-0 record, but it's just a mess up there. But North Carolina comes in here at 1-0. They defeated South Carolina this weekend. This is a team that was really good on the defensive side of the football. This team definitely has a great defense. You can tell, by the way, against South Carolina's offense, they just really shut down that team. We were kind of expecting a high-scoring game in that one, but North Carolina's defense it was overall that won the game for this Tar Heels team. Offensively, Drake May looked really solid, but made a couple mistakes in this game. But other than that, he's still a really good quarterback. I think it's going to really take him time to get better. But other than that, North Carolina with a huge win over South Carolina this weekend. Oklahoma at number 19. This team took care of business against Arkansas State like I thought they would. They scored 73 points in their home opener, so Oklahoma here at number 19. Tulane at number 18. They won by 2 touchdowns against South Alabama. It wasn't a really easy South Alabama team to take on. I mean, Tulane, though, just scored a late touchdown, and the game was kind of over from there. So Tulane, they got a pretty good defense offensively. I mean, I think they're going to get better on the offense, but South Alabama is a really good team, so I think Tulane will get better on the offensive side of the football. Kansas State, they won in a shutout against Southeast Missouri State. This offense looked really good. I mean, Will Howard's back at quarterback, and we'll see if Kansas State can really go up against really good competition. They're at number 17 here, and then Oregon State. I meant to change their record at 1-0. They took care of business against San Jose State. The defense looked really strong. The running game looked really strong for Oregon State. DJ Ogilvie looked really solid in his debut, had 4 total touchdowns in this game. I don't think this is the same DJ Ogilvie that we saw at Clemson, but I mean, we're going to have to see him play like a really tough opponent in order for us to really call him a great quarterback. So Oregon State here. Again, these are my rankings from 16 through 20. The only change here from 16 through 20 is Oklahoma and North Carolina, both here at number 19 and number 20. North Carolina was at number 22 last week, and Oklahoma was at number 21 for me. But 16 through 18 with Oregon State, Kansas State, and Tulane are the same thing. And again, Oregon State should be 1-0. That should be their record. But let's now go from 11 through 15. A lot of changes here from 11 through 15. Oregon here remains at number 15. They scored 81 points in their season opener. I mean, how is that even possible? I mean, against a Portland State team that's not really good, but Oregon just dominated that game from the start, and this offense looks really explosive. Bo Nix back at quarterback. Defense looks really strong, but Oregon's going to have their tough game coming up this weekend. They'll play Texas Tech, which they got beat by Wyoming this past weekend, but I think Oregon's going to go in there as a favorite in that game. I think they're probably going to be a double-digit favorite now since Texas Tech lost their game. So Oregon here, they start out 1-0 here at number 15. And like I said, the Pac-12 had a really great weekend. The Pac-12 is undefeated right now. Right now, the Pac-12 is the top conference in the country. Clemson here at number 14. I do have them moving down from 10 through 14. I'm not going to penalize them to, be out of the top 15 or mainly throughout the top 25. I still think Clemson is a really good team, but this game right here was really disastrous for Clemson fans. I mean, Clemson now, I think their playoff hopes are really much dashed. I mean, I think they're not going to be even able to win out. I don't think they are the team to beat in the ACC this year. I think it's now Florida State and North Carolina, the 2 teams to beat this year. And remember, there are no divisions in the ACC, so it's going to be a long ways to go here for Clemson. And the schedule is not really, easy from there. Clemson still has to play Florida State in week number 4. They also got to play Miami on the road. But Clemson, they had opportunities to score in this game. Remember, they got in the red zone a couple times, and they fumbled the ball a couple times. And then, of course, Caleb Klubnik threw an interception, and the game was over from there. So, Clemson, again, too many mistakes in this one. The offense, it's kind of like similar to last year. And, I think Clemson just overall was not really that good in this game against Duke. I mean, Duke just overall, was the better team. So, Clemson here at number 14. Texas at number 13. They took care of business against Rice, but I don't think a lot of Texas fans were really pleased with this performance. I think Quinn Ewers, his performance was a little bit off in the first few minutes, but then he got it going. But Texas, I think, was really not focused on this game against Rice. I think they were focused on Alabama coming up this weekend. That's going to be a big-time game. That's the biggest game coming up this weekend in week number 2. I think Texas is fully focused on the Crimson Tide, and I think that's why they only scored 37 points in their game against Rice. So Texas here at number 13. Notre Dame at number 12. They haven't played anybody really that tough yet, but they move up a spot here due to Clemson losing to Duke. I have them at 2-0. They are at 2-0 right now. The offense has looked really good for Notre Dame in the first couple games. They'll play their first real competition against NC State which I think NC State is not a top 25 team this year, but it's definitely going to be a tough place to play for the Irish. I mean, we'll see what really happens in that game, but Notre Dame has played 2 weeks already, and again, the offense looks really explosive right now, but we'll see how they do in their first true road game of the season. So Notre Dame here at number 12. Tennessee at number 11, they took care of business like I thought they would against Virginia. The offense just really is explosive. You can just see how far these wide receivers are spread out on on offensive side of the football. Tennessee's got, a little bit of young wide receivers, but the wide receivers look really good for Tennessee as well. Ramel Keaton was kind of the guy for them, and then Jimmy Holiday Squirrel White was kind of the guy for them as well. Squirrel White played really good in this game, but how about Dylan Sampson? He played really good in this game for Tennessee as well, and I think what won the game here for Tennessee was definitely the running game. They got some strong, talented running backs, Jabari Small, Jalen Wright, and you got Dylan Sampson, the sophomore, so you got some really great tailbacks for the Volunteers. And then also, the defense was the big reason why Tennessee won this game as well. Virginia just could not get past that Tennessee defense. They were so aggressive from this game from the start. So Tennessee here at number 11, they're starting out 1-0, and these are my rankings from 11 through 15. 6 through 10, we got Utah here at number 10, Washington at number 9, USC at number 8, Penn State at number 7, and then LSU at number 6. Utah, they took care of business against Florida. Well, I really wouldn't say take care of business, but again, the defense for Utah, it was kind of sluggish it was really good. Utah, they were shorthanded going into this game. They had some players out. Cam Rising was also injured in this game against Florida. No telling when he's going to be playing yet for Utah in the Pac-12, but again, Utah, I think after their, win against Florida, and also Clemson is the reason why they are in here in the top 10, and Utah starts out 1-0. Washington at number 9. They took care of business against Boise State. A lot of people expected that game to be close, but I don't think it was really a game that was going to be close at all. Washington took care of business in that game. Michael Penix looked really good at quarterback. Definitely probably one of the best left-handed throwers in the country. USC at number 8, they took care of business against Nevada. Caleb Williams continues to really show off his Heisman, race here. USC's defense looked a lot better in this game, but again, they still got a long way to go. We have to see USC play a really good team first in order for me to move them up into the top 5. Same thing with Penn State. I know they beat West Virginia. That should be a really good team there, but West Virginia was not even ranked. So Penn State here remains at number 7, but offensively, Penn State looked really good. I think this is a team that can challenge Michigan and Ohio State now in the Big Ten East, and defensively, they look really strong as well. Remember I said I really think the defense is going to be really good for Penn State. So Penn State here at number 7, they're 1-0. LSU here at number 6. I only moved them down one spot. I'm not going to penalize LSU for losing that badly to Florida State. I think they still are a top 10 team. I'm not going to let them, really, move down to number 9 or number 10 here, because if you look at on the 4 teams that are behind LSU, Penn State, USC, Washington, and Utah, they have not played a tough game yet. I mean, Penn State, they played West Virginia. That's a Power 5 team, but they were not even ranked. USC, they haven't played anybody really that tough, in the first 2 games. Washington, the same thing with Boise State, and then Utah here at number 10. They play Florida, but Florida's not even ranked either. So I think that's why LSU should remain here at number 6, but they only moved down one spot. So, again, it was a very tough loss for this LSU team. I don't think their playoff hopes are over yet, but I think if they don't win out for the rest of the year, they're pretty much, over with from there. But they do have a tough, path for them heading into the rest of the year, because they do play in the SEC West. They still have to play Alabama, Ole Miss, anybody else in the SEC West that they go up against. So these are my rankings from 6 through 10. Let's now go to the top 5. We got Alabama at number 5, Ohio State at number 4, Florida State at number 3, and then Michigan and Georgia here. I still think Georgia is the top team in the country, and a lot of people are not really, pleased with Georgia's performance against UT Martin. I'm really pleased with Georgia's performance. I think Georgia really dominated that game, which I knew they would, and I know Carson Beck, a lot of people think he's not the right guy for this Georgia team, but he's going to get better, and Georgia's going to get better down the stretch. Michigan at number 2. I know they only scored 30 points in their game. I think Michigan still deserves to be here at number 2. I think Michigan, the reason why they only scored 30 points in this game is that Jim Harbaugh is suspended for the first 3 games. But Michigan, once they get him back, I mean, they're going to be pretty much a dangerous team in the Big Ten. And then Florida State here at number 3. I made a change here with the number 3 spot. I had Ohio State here last week at number 3, but this time I'm putting Florida State here because Florida State's offense was so much better than Ohio State's offense. And like I said, I think Ohio State has a little bit of problems on the offensive side of the football right now, but maybe they'll find their offense in a few weeks. And it goes back to last year. Remember the Buckeyes played Notre Dame in that season opener. They didn't find their offense yet until about maybe the second or third week of the college football season last year. Maybe they'll find it next week. But Kyle McCord, he didn't look really all that bad in his first game. But again, their offense is a little bit of a problem right now. But I had to make a change here with the number 3 spot. Florida State, I think, deserves to be here at number 3 ahead of the Buckeyes because this team just overall played great offense and great defense against LSU in the second half. I think LSU only had like 50 total yards in the second half because this Florida State Seminole defense, they just really kept, fighting in this game. And also, they forced a turnover in the third quarter, and that kind of, changed the game from there. So I made a change here. Florida State at number 3, Ohio State here at number 4. And then Alabama here at number 5. I know Alabama is a team that didn't really play anybody really that tough over the weekend, but I at least have to move LSU down because they got beat badly. But I know Alabama can probably beat LSU as of right now, so that's why I put Alabama here at number 5. But they'll play Texas this weekend. Again, we're going to find out more about this Alabama team if they are for real or if they are not a playoff contender at all. But that's a game that's also going to decide the playoff race as well. But these are my top 5 teams heading into week 2 of the 2023 college football season. It's Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Ohio State, and then Alabama. But that's my top 25 rankings heading into week 2 of the 2023 college football season. Give me your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about this top 25? And also give me your top 25 down in the comments below. And stay tuned here for more sports content videos on my Lucas Ross Sports channel.